Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Scripting Fridays. And this is a special one because it's the Friday before Labor Day weekend. So thank you for joining me. Um, Today, we're actually going to talk about value propositions. And I'm going to share with you the scripts that I use to compel people one way or another. And then I'm going to see what yours are, and we can, compare notes. So anyway, let's dive in and talk about value propositions. So if you're new here, oh geez, my computer thinks it's connected to another monitor, but it's not. So that's cool. My name is Ed Laine, as you can tell by my background. Maybe I'm from Seattle. I've been in the business for almost 40 years, 1987. Over 3,000 homes sold. So I've got a ton of experience, and I am a scripting maniac. I have always felt like if I could help people get into any situation and feel confident that they could just pull a string and say the right words, that's a win. And so that's why I host this every Friday. So you'll have to let me know what you think. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta fix something. I'm gonna double check something. So sorry about this. Oh, I know what I did. Aha. I have two. That's weird. Bear with me just a sec, if you don't mind. Oh, I know. My apologies. I had accidentally hidden slides, if you guys know about that part of PowerPoint. But now that they're unhidden, we can try this again. And Autumn, you're going to have to edit that out. So let's dive in. Here's what I want to talk about, right? First thing, what ultimately do buyers think about us, right? They sort of don't think of us the way we think of us, right? At their worst, they think of us as a necessary evil, like we somehow cost them money, but they need us to make this deal happen, right? That's the cynic in the audience, right? And at best, they're going to see you as a vehicle to open the door. Like, you have an E-key. I want to see this house, so I know I got to talk to you. And they also think that all realtors are the same, right? But we're not, as you guys know. And the fact that you're investing time in yourself right now is proof that you're not like everybody else, right? So they feel like if they choose you to work with, that they're doing you a favor because they're helping you get some money. And that's not necessarily a healthy dynamic, right? But think of it from their perspective. What do buyers want? It's really pretty simple, right? They want a house. And that's it. So you have to keep that in mind when you're crafting your value proposition, right? And you want to stand out from the other brokers. I'm in the Northwest. We have 30,000 members in our MLS. Wherever you are, how many brokers are there? How do you stand out, right? Well, you need to have differentiators. What are your service commitments that make you stand out above the rest, right? We also call that a value proposition, right? I personally call them gold bricks. And when I'm coaching brokers, I always say, did you drop a gold brick on them, right? The reason I use that sort of analogy or metaphor is when we're talking to consumers and we're asking them, will you meet with me? Right? You're asking somebody to decide to get off the couch and spend the time and energy to meet with you, as opposed to staying on the couch, right? So it has to be compelling. And I like to use the gold brick analogy because a gold brick in today's market is worth north of $600,000. And if I called pretty much anybody except for the extremely wealthy, and even they probably would get off the couch to get a free gold brick, right? So think of your value proposition, your differentiator. When you are talking to a buyer or a seller, is it compelling? Is it going to be a reason that they should get off the couch? And if the answer is maybe, then work on it, right? Make it more compelling. So our gold brick for buyers sounds like this. Hey, buyer, what if I could get you priority access to off-market properties before they ever hit the MLS or the internet? Do you think that would help you find a good deal? Right? We've been in a seller's market for damn near 10 years now. And I know right now it's behaving like a buyer's market, but this is still compelling language. Buyers don't like to compete. And because we've had 10 years of a seller's market, most buyers know what it's like to write an offer and lose in a multiple offer situation. So getting priority access to off-market properties is a home run for buyers. And then I end it with a question that's really straightforward and makes them sound stupid if they say no. So they always say yes. Do you think that would help you find a good deal? Right? Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. What do you do? Oh, I'm a dentist. What do you do? Oh, I help people get priority access to off-market properties before they hit the MLS or the internet. Do you see how that would help you get a good deal? Yeah. Really? You do that? Yeah. I've got a friend, right? These value propositions or elevator pitches or differentiators will come up in lots of different circumstances, right? Not just leads, but dinner parties where someone says, so what do you do? Right? Or an introduction. Hey, I got a friend I want you to meet. I'm on the golf course. This is my buddy, Ed. Oh, hey, Ed, what do you do? I'm a real estate broker. In fact, I help people get priority access to off-market properties before they hit the MLS or the internet. Do you see how that would help you get a good deal? Think of all the different applications that you could use that, right? And that's just for buyers. So let's talk about sellers, right? And by the way, this dialogue works for any form, right? You get a phone call from your website, results in a booked appointment. You get an internet lead, opt in, results in a booked appointment. You get a referral from another agent or a friend or a family member, booked appointment. Social media leads, booked appointment, right? Any lead source, as long as you know whether they're a buyer or a seller, you're going to be able to book an appointment. And I should point out, I've been doing this way for 18 years. I've been a lead generator. I mean, I've been in the business for 38, but I've been a lead generator since 2007. We have been generating leads and signing buyer brokerage agreements. I mean, I was generating leads before that, but implemented buyer brokerage agreements in 2007. Why is that significant? Well, I don't know about your state, but where I'm sitting here in Washington, it's now required. And people lost their freaking minds. I'm leaving the business. I'm not doing that. I can't do that, whatever. And all I thought was, shoot, I've been doing that for 17 years. Not a big deal, right? So If you haven't been, this is a muscle. It's a skill that you can develop, right? It's not a natural talent. It's definitely something you can learn. And if you have advanced sales skills, like you guys all probably do because you're here investing in yourselves, this would be easy for you. And we can do a deep dive on the buyer presentation and the value prop or the seller one next week. In fact, think about that, because when we wrap up today, I'll ask you, which one do you want to do next week? So, but let's get back to the show, as it were, right? So what about sellers? What do I say to sellers? Well, this has changed a little bit, right? So let's kind of evaluate what are our options. Well, if you're a discounter, that's probably what you lead with, right? I'm not. I had this conversation literally yesterday with somebody. I sent him a listing agreement to sign at 3%. And they said, well, the last couple of houses we bought and sold, we only paid 2 or 2.5. Can you give us a discount? And I said, I already am. My normal fee is 4. But because you were referred to me by a past client, I gave you a discount. And they said, oh, great. Thank you. Right? It's all perspective. But am I really giving a discount? Not really, if I'm getting 3, right? So what's your value prop? Are you a discounter? Do you offer free services like staging or drone or whatever, right? If you don't have something that makes you stand out, get it, implement it. And you can choose to do whatever you want as long as it's legal, right? So here's the one I use. And this is now having to change because of the new laws, but this is what I've used since, the dawn. My system sells homes for 3.4% more money and 36% faster than my peers in the MLS. And I can even sell your home for free. When's a good time for us to get together? We, in Washington State, we're now no longer allowed to use the word free. So that's why it's in parentheses. But I would just say the same thing and leave that parenthetical part out. Hey, why should you consider me? Well, my system sells homes 3.4% or for 3.4% more money and 36% faster than my peers in the MLS. When's a good time for us to get together? Or when's a good time for me to come over so I can show you how I do it? You see how people would be intrigued even without the free language in there? Does that make sense? And how am I able to say that? I research my results. Here's all you have to do, right? Is go into your production, go into your MLS and analyze whatever time frame helps make your case stronger, right? Go back over the last 12 months, go back over in the last 10 years. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you want it to be verifiable. So in my case, I went back 4 years because I wanted to include 2021, which was a hot market, right? But I also used 4 years for the entire MLS. And in my case, my listings sold for 103.4% more than asking. And the MLS average was 100.4. So that's a difference of 3.2%, right? And I've literally had people, because those numbers are in my listing presentation. So if I'm sitting in your living room, we get to this one particular slide about results and I show them that. And I've had multiple people see that slide and go, so your system pays for itself. That's right. And I'll make a joke. I go, as a matter of fact, it does. And can I quote you on that in my marketing? And they laugh and I laugh. Right? So just analyze your stats and see, is there a window of time where you outperform the market? Because that's the one you want to highlight. right? You guys are awfully quiet this morning. I hope this is valuable to you. So what is your gold brick, right? So if you guys don't mind, come off mute and share with me your gold brick. Do you have a value proposition that you've been using that's been effective for you? I'd love to hear it. Mike, Melissa, Allison? You guys are all going to remain silent.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Melissa. This is way more. We both went off mute. So,
So,
do you use something like this?
so I do have to say, I do work primarily more with buyers than I do sellers.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I want to start engaging more on these calls is for me to become more familiar and see what other agents are doing that is actually working for them, so then I can start implementing that for myself.
Smart, really smart. Are you gonna try and implement more sellers too?
That is correct.
Okay, that's great. So, would it help? I could do a deep dive on my listing presentation and how I get sellers to sign almost 100% of the time. I got 2 more yesterday. Would that help you?
100%. That would be very much appreciated.
Okay. I'll plan on covering that next Friday,
Awesome.
and we'll do a deep dive on how I prepare, how I present, and how I follow up. All right?
That would be Thank you so much.
Yeah. Allison, you'd benefit from that as well?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Happy to do it. That's kind of what I touched on earlier is just, we talk every Friday, and usually every Friday some idea comes out of it where it's valuable to cover it the following week. And that's what I was thinking for next week anyway. So it was just whether we go the buyer route or the seller route. So I agree with Melissa and probably you as well, Allison, that we all want to operate in the market in a fashion that generates what the market is looking, right? And even though it's behaving like a buyer's market, we have a shortage of inventory right now, at least in my market. I know in Texas and in parts of Florida, it's a buyer's market by definition, but not here in the Northwest. And I don't believe in Thousand Oaks area where Allison is. So for that reason, I'm generating listings and I'll keep doing that. I actually just had to order 5 more signs because they're not selling as fast, but I'd still rather have more signs in the air than, right now generating buyer leads is still effective, right? Because you're able to put them in escrow. So I'm doing that, but my focus is still sellers because the Fed meeting is 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away. We can talk about that for a minute. We've got 10 minutes left. I actually got interviewed twice in the last 3 days by national media. One was Forbes magazine reached out. They want to know what I thought was going on in the market, what the trends are. Another one was a podcast. And I said this to them, and I'm sharing this because you can say this to consumers, right? Here's the funny thing. The Fed meets every 6 weeks and rates move before they meet based on what Wall Street thinks the Fed is going to do. So rates have already trended downwards today. And you guys talking to the media, and you guys aren't even going to talk about it until September 17th. And that's funny to me because think about it. How many of you on this call realize that leading up to the open market committee meetings, rates always move? Not many brokers even know that, but now you do, right? So that's why Powell in Fort Collins, or no, where was it? Jackson Hole, started tipping his cards, right? And what did rates do? They started going down. So tell your buyer clients, now is the time, right? Like you have this 2.5-week window where you can put a bunch of deals in escrow if you're working with buyers. And then the bidding wars are going to start happening after the meeting, after the 17th. So take advantage of that, right? All right. Does anyone else have any other questions? I want to share one resource with you guys and gals, and then we'll call it a wrap. I created a custom GPT. So if you're ever curious and want to know what I would say in a particular circumstance, just go to whatwouldedSay.com, and you have to have a Chat GPT account. It can be a free account, but you have to be logged in order to open it up. But as long as you have that, you can jump in there. If you can't remember the URL, just search for my name and you'll find it. You'll actually find a couple custom GPTs and ask it and let me know what it said and if you liked what it said. Because all I've been doing is filling the knowledge base with these meetings. And I've been doing scripting Fridays for over a year. So play around with it. Tell me what you think. All right. And other than that, I always like to leave the last couple minutes for any scenarios that you guys might be facing. So before we log off, is there something that you're nervous about, a conversation you're needing to have that you've been putting off or anything like that?
I think that what you're going to be covering, for me at least, I can speak for myself, next Friday would kind of touch more on what I need to polish. I have been in the business for 6 years now, and it's not that I haven't done listings, but the majority of the listings that I have had, they've been referrals. So it hasn't been hard to close them out. I just never really encounter situations that much, in a sense, where I'm like just meeting with people, leads that are coming through Google or Facebook ads, which is more of what I'm doing now. I'm doing more of that type of marketing.
Love it. That's awesome. And we'll cover some specific dialogues that help me convert those types of leads into face-to-face meetings. So I look forward to that, Melissa, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Ed. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Allison, you have yourself a great day and an awesome Labor Day weekend.
You too, but I'll see you at 3-ish, wasn't it? 3 or 3:30 today?
Yeah, I know it's later today, so I look forward.
3. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.